Imagine this. You are extremely hungry. Someone gives you a slice of pizza. It feels amazing. Then you eat a second slice, still good. But by the fourth or fifth slice, you might not enjoy it as much. So why does satisfaction decrease the more we consume something? Economists actually explain this using a concept called utility. Today we will understand what utility means, what total utility and marginal utility are, and why economists believe more consumption doesn't always mean more happiness. What is utility? In economics, utility simply means satisfaction or happiness that a consumer gets from consuming a good or service. In simple words, utility answers this question: how much satisfaction do I get from using this product? For example, drinking water when you're thirsty gives you high utility. Watching your favorite movie gives you high utility. Even scrolling on your phone can give you utility. But here's something important. Utility is subjective. This means different people get different satisfaction from the same product. One person might love coffee, another person might hate it. For the coffee lover, utility is high. For the other person, it might be zero. Total utility is the total satisfaction a consumer receives from consuming a certain quantity of a good. Let's go back to pizza example. Suppose a hungry student eats pizza. The first slice gives 20 units of satisfaction. The second slice gives 18 units. The third slice gives 14 units. If you add them together, 20 plus 18 plus 14 equals to 52 units. This 52 is called total utility. So as long as we keep consuming, total utility increases. But here's the interesting part. It doesn't increase at the same rate. That's where the concept of marginal utility comes in. Marginal utility. Now that we understand total utility, let's move to a very important concept in economics called marginal utility. Marginal utility simply means the additional satisfaction a consumer receives from consuming one more unit of a good or service. In other words, it measures how much extra happiness the next unit gives you. To understand this clearly, let's continue with our pizza example. Imagine a student who is very hungry after a long day of classes. The first slice of pizza gives him a lot of satisfaction because he was very hungry. Let's say it gives 20 units of utility. Now he eats a second slice. He still enjoys it, but not as much as the first slice. Maybe this slice gives him 18 units of utility. Then comes the third slice. At this point, he is already starting to feel full. The third slice still tastes good, but the excitement is lower, so it might give him 14 units of utility. Then the fourth slice might give him only 8 units of utility. So what we see here is something interesting. Each additional slice of pizza gives less satisfaction than the previous one. This extra satisfaction from each additional slice is what economists call marginal utility. Mathematically, marginal utility is calculated as marginal utility equals change in total utility divided by change in quantity. But don't worry too much about the formula. The key idea is simple. Marginal utility tells us how much extra satisfaction we gain when you consume one more unit of something. Law of diminishing marginal utility. Now we arrive at one of the most famous ideas in microeconomics. It is called the law of diminishing marginal utility. This law states that as a person consumes more and more unit of the good, the marginal utility from each additional unit eventually decreases. In simpler words, the more of something you consume, the less additional satisfaction you get from the next unit. Let's look at another everyday example. Imagine you are extremely thirsty after playing football. The first glass of water feels incredible. It might give you very high satisfaction. The second glass of water is still refreshing, but the feeling is slightly less intense. The third glass is okay, but the fourth glass you may not even want to drink anymore. And if someone forces you to drink a fifth glass, it might even make you uncomfortable. So the satisfaction from each extra glass keeps decreasing. This is exactly what the law of diminishing marginal utility describes. And this principle applies to many things in everyday life. For example, eating chocolates, watching episodes of a TV show, playing a video game. The first few units give a lot of excitement, but after a while the excitement slowly starts to decline. This is a natural behavior of human satisfaction.